Healthy Scratch Red Wings Report, presented by 5v5hockey.com.
Oh, we got some news today that I was not expecting, and I don't think any of us really were. Welcome back to the Healthy Scratch Red Wings Report. It's Buschy with you once again. Today, Vladimir Tarasenko signed with the Red Wings for 2 years, $4.75 million per season. I love it. I'll take it because I never saw this coming. And in the previous video that I did, I was saying that I was okay with going with what they were going with and bring up some of the kids and let them play. But this is something that I never thought Vladimir Tarasenko would even consider coming to Detroit. Maybe it's the 2-year term. 4.75 is not that bad for him. This is a direct replacement for David Perron. That's just how it is. I was looking at that roster going, man, we're losing a lot of goals with Perron, Sprong, Gostisbehere. We're gaining a little bit of defense, but we still need someone to score. And just looking at that top six, it was like we need one more guy. And Tarasenko is it, and I'm excited that he's going to be a Red Wing, and I'm sure you guys are as well. Now, he is not defensive. Now, this is the thing, is we have 3 wingers in the top 6, DeBrincat, Kane, and Tarasenko, that are purely offensive. Lucas Raymond can do both. Larkin and Comfer down the middle are going to have to do a lot of heavy lifting to make up for that lack of defense. But that is something where I'm looking at Vladimir Tarasenko, and when we looked at the Stanley Cup Final, the effort that the guy was giving is still there. Now, he is younger than Tarasenko. He's 32 right now. He'll be 33, I think, in December, they said. You know, Perron got $4 million from Ottawa. Would you rather have Perron for 4 at his age, or would you rather have Tarasenko at his age for a little bit more? Now, that signing was done, and then, like, I don't know, half an hour later, there's a trade. Robbie Fabbri is gone, and he got shipped out with a 4th-round pick to the Anaheim Ducks for a goaltending prospect. Everyone's like, wow, Steve Yzerman really loves goalies. Gage Alexander was a 5th-round pick by the Ducks. He played a little bit in the AHL and the ECHL last year for Anaheim. So, like, another body to compete in Grand Rapids and probably start, probably in Toledo, I would say. But that was just a cap dump. Fabbri was making $4 million for 1 year. And it's not that I don't like Robbie Fabbri. I think none of us really had a problem with him, with all the injuries that he had. And coming back from it, I'll give the guy a lot of credit. And that was one of the first fleece jobs that Steve Yzerman pulled off, was Jacob Delarose for Robbie Fabbri straight up. And Delarose wasn't even in the league after that season. And Fabbri had some decent seasons with the Red Wings. But to pay, a bottom 6 guy $4 million for the next year, a lot of people were like asking me, hey, why don't they just keep him and have him for depth? I think this is just like a roster move. They're trying to open up a spot. I really do think this whole like youth thing, there's going to be 1 or 2 of them that will probably push for this lineup. With Robbie Fabbri out of the way, that's one less piece. It also gives them the same pretty much cap space. When you add Tarasenko at his money, you get rid of Fabbri at what he had, it's almost a wash. It's like $700K difference. So they still have Seider, Raymond, Veleno, and Bergeron still to re-sign. And they have $20 million left to do it. That's more than enough space. And I still think there's room for another move. I do think that they still need to upgrade their defense, and most notably the right side. We've talked about Jacob Trouba and him maybe not wanting to go anywhere. And I completely respect that. If you don't want a player to nix a trade, don't give him a no-trade clause. Don't give him a no-movement clause, because this is what happens. Fans can't get pissed off at a player for exercising a right that's in his contract. I've never understood that. Would it be nice to get a guy like Trouba, maybe with some salary retained, to shore up the right side of the defense? You bet. But switching gears a little bit, another guy that's like rumored to be on the move, I don't really think he will be, but he's from the Florida Panthers. It's Aaron Ekblad. Now, not really a point producing defenseman, but minute muncher, shot blocking, defensive, tough guy that plays on the right side, that was a first overall pick in 2014. What would it take to get him? Are the Panthers actually shopping him? That's a rumor right now. But that's another guy that maybe the Red Wings could take a run at, because out there on the free agent market, it's looking pretty thin. I heard a rumor about Tyson Barrie. I do not want Tyson Barrie. We have enough offensive type defensemen, so I'm okay with just leaving him out of it. We have 8 contracts for the defensemen on the books right now, so something's got to give. Now, the thing that I also saw was Tyler Motte yesterday signed with the Red Wings, 1 year, $800K. Another Michigan guy. They're signing a bunch of Swedes and Michigan guys. except for Tarasenko. I bet you Datsuk was in town, came from Florida and kidnapped Tarasenko and said, "You're signing with Detroit." You never know. I loved seeing Pavel back, by the way. I don't know if you guys saw that. Go check it out. He did an interview with the Red Wings. He was on the ice for development camp yesterday, today, and until the end of it, I'm pretty sure. So that's cool to see him back. But what I was talking about is Tyler Motte is an underrated signing by Steve Yzerman because he was one of the best defenders on the forward group for the Tampa Bay Lightning. He's a very, very good penalty killer, and he's a specialist. And, I mean, it's something that you can't really go wrong. 1 year, $800K to be in your bottom six, probably fourth line, and even at points, maybe the 13th forward. So I was okay with the Tyler Motte signing. This Tarasenko thing completely changes things. And what I want to talk to you guys about lastly would be like almost one of these like in the mind of Steve Yzerman, because I saw what happened today and I immediately thought of some questions that I've seen in the comments section. And for everybody that's commenting, I appreciate it. Like the last video that I did, it was like 99% positive comments. I think we're all on the same page with how this is going, which is great to see. But I think if you look at how close together this Tarasenko signing was and the Robbie Fabbri trade was, I really think that Steve Yzerman had this trade in the hopper and talked to Pat Verbeek with Anaheim and said, listen, if we do what we think we're going to do, here's the deal that we would offer you. Would you be okay with that? Yeah? Okay. Let's go sign Tarasenko, and then boom, we move Robbie Fabbri for the money. Because I really think that if Tarasenko didn't sign, Robbie Fabbri would still be here. So when we flip to a guy like Justin Holl, and people asking why hasn't he been bought out yet, I think it's because, again, we're waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like if Yzerman can go out and get an upgrade on that right side of the defense, I think there would be an alternate move just like this Fabbri one where they get rid of Hull, where it's maybe, you know, a trade with maybe a little retention. I don't know, or they give up a pick. Now another thing too is if Joe Veleno goes to arbitration for being a restricted free agent, it opens a second buyout window for the Red Wings. So if they make a trade or they get a player that they want on that right side and they still want to move Justin Holl, if Veleno goes to arbitration, then that buyout window opens and they can use it on Justin Holl. So there is a path forward. I don't really think that the Wings are done because I still think the defense is a little bit suspect. And I think that's something that, you know, even looking at it and going like, okay, Seider and Sherratt, you know, Edvinsson hopefully is a top 4 guy. I think he is, and I think he will be. But it's asking a lot of, technically he's a rookie. So, like, that would be something. And then you've got, like, Motte, who's a good defensive defenseman, Justin Holl, Jeff Petrie, Albert Johansson. You know, there's kind of a mismatch of defensemen at the back end, and they replace Gostisbehere with Gustafsson. So, who knows? Maybe that's a wash at best, I guess. And, I mean, Gustafsson is better defensively than Gostisbehere. But I still think they need, like, a top 4 right-handed defenseman. So, that was something where I kind of brought up the Ekblad thing. You know, we talk about Trouba. Even like Calgary, you know, dumping a lot of players. Like, is Rasmus Anderson available? Because I would take him too if the price was right. So those are the guys. But, you know, looking at the forward lines now, and I'm just throwing these together. Obviously, it's subject to change. I'm not Derek Lalonde. But you think about the top 6. DeBrincat, Larkin, Kane, Tarasenko, Comfer, Raymond. That's a pretty good top 6. Offensively, for sure. Like I said, defensively, Larkin, Comfer, Raymond, they're going to have to carry the load a little bit with, you know, DeBrincat, Tarasenko, and Kane not being really defensive players. And then the bottom 6 right now, as I would project it, would be Berggren, Kopp, Rasmussen, Fischer, Veleno, and Tyler Motte. And again, with Marco Kasper, Carter Mazur, Nate Danielson, you know, etc., knocking on the door possibly if they have a really good camp and they force their way into the lineup, that's just best case scenario for the Red Wings. And then in goal, you know, with Talbot, Husso, Lyon, is there something going to move there? Because Husso would be the other player other than Justin Holl that would be someone that I would move for cap relief. You know, having Jack Campbell as like your 4th goalie, and then even with Sebastian Cossa too, maybe getting ready to have some games, I think you could move him out. And if it was like a Fabbri type trade, I think we'd all be okay with that. What do you guys think of Vladimir Tarasenko coming to Detroit? The Tarasenko show with Showtime. If you would have told me back in 2016 that Tarasenko and Kane would team up on the Red Wings, like, you're high. There's no way. But it's happened. It's, 8 years later, but we've got him, and he's still an effective player. And I think it's going to work really well for the Wings, especially with that 2 years having him for next season as well. So let me know what you think in the comments. Were you excited to hear that Tarasenko is a Red Wing? Where do you think he fits in the lineup? And then again, what do you think the Red Wings should do on defense and in net? I think the forward group is pretty set at this point. Getting Berggren and Veleno signed is priority, obviously with Raymond as well. And then on the back end, they'll get Seider done as well. But what do you think they should do in terms of who do we go after? Is there someone I didn't mention? I said Ekblad, Anderson, and Trouba. Is there anyone else on the right side D on a different team that you could see the Red Wings going after? Because I don't really see a free agent out there. If you do, let me know. But, I'm probably scouring the trade market at this point. So until something else happens for the Red Wings, it's been pretty interesting. I think a lot of us are quick to jump the gun and be like, oh my God, Yzerman's lost his touch. What's he doing? Just let's all calm down. Let's let him cook. Let's let him do his thing. It's looking a little better now, and there's probably going to be some more moves ahead.